Kemba Walker was a 4-time All-Star, averaged over 20 points per game for 5 seasons, but was benched 2 months into last season. He hadn't played an NBA game for 297 days despite being healthy. No team wanted him, and it seemed like everyone had forgotten about Kemba Walker. But the Mavericks randomly gave him a shot, and now in his 3rd game back, Kemba dropped 32 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds, and is finally getting minutes. But this isn't the first story of NBA stars all of a sudden getting kicked out of the league. And now, Kemba's proving the entire NBA wrong with this insane comeback. Coming into the league, Kemba was a small guard, a 6-footer that everyone wanted to see succeed. His college run was legendary. Michael Jordan traded up to draft a speedy guard, and Kemba was supposed to be the chosen one.
Crazy, bro. Like Black Jesus on the phone.
When he got drafted to the Charlotte Hornets, they were still called the Bobcats, and just horrible. In 2012, his rookie season, they had the worst record in NBA history, 7-59. What? Kemba was electric, crossing people over, but without any help, defenses were able to focus on him, and he struggled with efficiency. He changed his jump shot in 2015 and became the greatest Hornet of all time. That's not even an exaggeration. Just like if y'all liking the content, feel free to subscribe, because over 75% of y'all aren't. Trying to hit 600k by the end of the year, and got another video this week the media won't focus on. For the next 4 seasons, he averaged 23 points, 5.5 assists on 43% from the field, and 38% from 3. He's the franchise scoring leader, passing Dell Curry. He's also 2nd in assists and 3rd in steals.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
He started the All-Star game in Charlotte, one of his 3 selections while on the Hornets. He was even All-NBA in 2019, one of the best guards in the NBA. He led the team to 2 playoff appearances, has 60 apiece against the Sixers in 2018, and 43 points in his final game in a Hornets uniform. So, how did it all go so wrong? What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. For Kemba, the trouble began with this Hornets contract. As much as he was a fan favorite in Charlotte, management wasn't as excited for his long-term potential. But Kemba had torn his left knee meniscus in 2015. He would have knee surgery every year in the offseason for 3 straight years, but somehow still play about 80 games every season and get better? Wow, what is he? Michael Jordan wasn't willing to drop a bag on a small guard with knee issues and offered $60 million less than the max because of health concerns, even though Kemba played all 82 games the last season. And Kemba felt disrespected. He took less to go to Boston to compete for a championship, a team that wanted to replace Kyrie. I'm gonna be giving away the new Air Jordan 1 Chicagos and possibly some NBA tickets for the holidays. Stay tuned for our next video for the official giveaway. Kemba still had a solid start to his first season in Boston, able to beat people off dribble, get to his spots for pull-ups, averaging 20 points a game. He looked to be moving well, was named an All-Star, but inside the Celtics organization, there were concerns. Kemba started taking more 3s than 2s. He scored less from the mid-range, less from the free throw line, and less from the paint. More concerning, by mid-January, he began to experience soreness in his left knee and missed 10 games over 2 months. Perhaps the adjustment playing as a second option was not as smooth, but again, he was still an All-Star. His first season in Boston was also the pandemic year. In the bubble playoffs, he shot 31% from 3 in 24 games and struggled against larger defenders. Low-key looked a bit washed, but the Celtics as a whole were also not great. Kemba played better against the Heat, but Tatum took his turn building a house, shooting 31% from 3. The Celtics eventually lost to the Heat in the bubble, and before the 2021 season, Kemba got a stem cell injection for that same left knee, and this forced him to miss a lot of games early in the season and failed to build more chemistry. And even when he came back towards the end of the season, he suffered another injury, a bone bruise on that same left knee, and missed the last 2 games of the playoffs. Brad Stevens, in a plot twist, went from being head coach to president of basketball operations. I'll be honest, nobody saw that coming. And he started his career by trading a now injury-prone Kemba and a first-round pick for Al Horford. Horford was cheaper, Brad liked him.
Hey, yo.
Not like that. Brad said he wants to move their first round pick to allow for more financial flexibility down the road, especially since Kemba was earning $35 million a year, calling the trade not fun, but necessary. And Kemba was now on the Thunder. A buyout later, and teams were lining up to scoop up Kemba. Kemba was hoping for that type of redemption in New York. The Knicks signed Kemba to a 2-year, $18 million deal, and they were excited to finally have a point guard. I was finally excited to have a point guard. When they made the playoffs in the 2020-21 season, it was a huge milestone, albeit still getting bounced down the first round by a balding man.
You're bald!
But in order to maintain that consistency and elevate their game, they realized that they need somebody to control and run the offense. A true point guard, and not just a Julius Randle offense. But Kemba never found his groove. In his first 18 games, Kemba had career low numbers, and Tom Thibodeau said, nah, this ain't it, and just gave up. He benched him, took him out of the rotation saying,
don't like the way we've been trending. I want to get bigger. I want our defense to be more intact.
But even after benching Kemba, the Knicks were still ass. They had a lower winning percentage without him than with. After 10 inactive games, Thibodeau was forced to play Kemba because Derrick Rose, Quickly, Toppin, RJ, almost half the squad all were missing with injury or COVID. How did Kemba respond? By dropping 29 points in 37 minutes versus his former team, the Celtics. He also went off on Coach Thibs after a game for his lack of playing time, saying, I hate it. I want to play. That's up to these guys. I know I should be playing. This is just sad, man. Kemba is a sleeper for all these fantasy lineups because now he's actually part of a rotation doing better than what was expected. Do you want to compete against me? We can in SoRare, the channel sponsor. You get 20 free common cards when you sign up, and with those cards, you make lineups and enter competitions. I made my own league for us, but right now they just dropped some one-of-one unique cards.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Different tiers can enter you in different competitions. Common, limited, rare, super rare, and unique. This Devin Booker one looking nice. Him dropping 58 on the Pelicans has to be the most G stuff I've seen from him. There's also Clay.
That's tough.
And the auctions for them are going on right now. Man, these would be sick. Join my league with the link. We can compete with free cards, and if you buy 5 cards from the marketplace, you'll get 1 free limited card on me using the link in the description. So go check out SoRare. It's free, fun, and helps channel. Former 3-time 6th Man of the Year Jamal Crawford agreed. He played 1 season under Thibodeau and took to Twitter defending Kemba, saying, and some of y'all said defensive net rating and all this other mumbo jumbo trying to justify Kemba not playing. Stop letting these coaches, teams create the narrative a player is done because they don't like him. Damn. And it wasn't just Jamal. Other players came to Kemba's defense, including Kenny Smith, who also came at Thibodeau saying,
the guy's a great offensive player, and you just don't know how to use him.
People were in disbelief, not the fact that Kemba wasn't starting, but the fact that Kemba wasn't even getting minutes? Sometimes stats can lie. Thibodeau and the Knicks claimed Kemba was benched because of defense. With Kemba on the floor, the Knicks scored 105.4 points and gave up 114.5 for a terrible net rating of negative 9.1. His defensive rating was 7% worse than his career average of 107.1. And the Knicks actually had a positive net rating with Kemba off the floor. However, he had an offensive Raptor rating of negative 0.3 and a slightly positive defensive Raptor rating of 0.1. But it wasn't like the rest of the Knicks were that much better. So if his individual defense wasn't terrible, the most obvious reason seems to be the trash lineups Thibs forced him to play with. Kemba played most of his minutes with Fournier, Randle, and RJ Barrett. Those 3 also happened to be the 3 lowest rated defensive players on the team. It's already known that Kemba has never really been a great defender. Thibodeau, who is supposed to be a defensive genius, should know using Kemba primarily with 3 other bad defensive players would lead to a Swiss cheese defense.
Really?
Really?
He could have tried other options besides straight DNPs for Kemba. Kemba only had one lineup that played over 40 minutes together that didn't include those four, and it had a respectable defensive rating of 105.4. Kemba looked his best during the COVID outbreak that left him as the primary playmaker. He averaged 26 points and 7 assists over a 4-game stretch. I'm not here to defend Kemba's defense or his play, because it wasn't that good. Man's averaging 11 points, yeah. What is weird is how quickly the Knicks gave up on him when Kemba is repeatedly asking to play, and he's proven over his career that he can be a scoring option. If you don't like him in the starting lineup, make him a spark plug off the bench. He had a disappointing 13-game stretch before being shut down again. What's even weirder is that several teams were interested in Kemba in February when they thought the Knicks would buy him out. But Kemba wanted to get traded instead. And when he eventually did get traded to the Pistons in June, there was suddenly no interest in Kemba after a buyout? What happened in those 4 to 5 months? No new information was released about his knees. So the Walker in February when he got shut down by the Knicks was the same Walker in July. It was almost as if a switch was flipped. John Wall has talked about veterans getting pushed out of the league too early. J.R. Smith said he was blackballed by the NBA and that he's not the only one.
I've watched their GM come up to me and ask me, Leo, why you not playing? You know why I'm not playing.
How could no NBA team try and sign Kemba as a shot creator as a sixth man? How did Kemba literally have no team interested? Even if you say he's not the same player as his Hornets days, his last full season with the Celtics, he averaged 19 points. You don't even have to give him that same role as a starting point guard. Have him prove to you that he is still effective as a spark plug first. Kemba remained ready. He said he was cool with coming off the bench. He just wanted to be part of an NBA team. He kept training in Florida, and even then, no one cared. He seemed like an afterthought until the Mavericks signed him at the end of November. It's a non-guaranteed deal. They can still waive him, so Kemba has to prove that he's capable. The GM said that his knee was not good at all, so they'll have to see how he plays. Wow, even the GM is harsh about his own signing? Way to give confidence, man.
That's a bad shot.
And in his first 2 games, he got some minutes, 8 points in 19 minutes, 6 and 13. But with the Mavericks without Luka and Dinwiddie, they gave him a start against a good Cavs team. And well,
Outman him, right. Wear him down a little bit.
Walker got a running start at Osmond. Kemba Walker has 19 first-half points. Walker rejects a wood screen, goes to the elbow, takes a drifting jump.
Kemba did it. He ran the offense, pick and roll, mid-range jumpers, burst to the rim. The Cavs weren't able to contain him, and the Mavericks were able to push the Cavs. Walker ties the game to go into overtime, where they lost by 1 point. But it proved that Kemba was still there. 32 points, 7 assists, and 5 boards on 48% from the field, with the Cavs throwing multiple bodies. The next game, Kemba had 14 coming off the bench on less efficiency and was picked on defensively. But he got to the line 7 times in 23 minutes. Not the best outing, but he showed that he was always at least deserving of a roster spot. And now, he's back. And I think that he's continued to fight through adversity at nearly every level and make a career. From having bad knees and continuing to get better and becoming an all-star, to now almost being pushed out of the league and coming back. The all-day notification watch shout goes to Big Wiggy. Thanks for the all-day support. And if you want to know the truth about the Kawhi situation, there's a video right here. And if you're still here, you're real ones to comment back so I know. Happy holidays, giveaway coming soon. It's your boy MJ. We out. We vibe.